Hey guys, so this is going to be a breakdown of these two more recent test prints that I just did on the Elgu Mars. So I printed out this Towelie figurine, and I did two versions with two different settings, and I'm going to go over that right now. So this is the second print that I did, and I think it came out a little bit better. The overall scale was a little bit elongated, but the forms came out a little bit better. The problems with this one were the fingers didn't come out totally, and if you look down here, there's like a little bit of a dip. And when I get to the picture where I do the comparison, you'll be able to see that the model itself, the bottom of the towel is a little bit flatter. And then here's another angle. I'm just really impressed that it was able to print something so thin. And it's like when you're sculpting this at full size, it's like, well, this is way thicker than a towel would be in real life. But then when you print it out, it's incredibly thin. And you can see it's almost like the subsurface scattering effect, where this face area in the center is thicker and you can see the light shining through around it. Yeah, you can see here the thumb kind of got clipped off. But yeah, I mean, still amazing detail. None of the texture of the towel came through, but all of the little cloth folds came through, and the eyebrows and everything else. None of the details. There was I put some like veins around the eyes and some strands around the pupil, but none of those details came through. The teeth barely came through. I don't know if you can see because the image quality is not the best. Here is the comparison. So this is the one on the left is the second print, and this was the first one. Printed this one on the side, and you can see this one has even more problems. There's this banding here, and you can't see too well in the photo, but it's really prominent if you look at it in real life. And these lines that came down were parallel with the print bed. And I had similar banding issues on that large Nick Cage print that I did. Whereas there was no banding on this one. Actually, there was, if I go to this back, you're not going to be able to see it very well, but there's one band right here at the top of where the towel folds back behind his head. Another problem with this first print was this arm. Look at the difference in the sizes of the arms, and I think maybe this was a problem with not putting enough supports because this arm was facing down towards the print bed, so this was technically an island. This whole section of the towel was an island. But, for example, the feet were a little bit cleaner. And this one came out slightly taller. These are right next to each other, and you can see that the top of this one came out slightly taller. But the bottom of this looks a lot closer to how the model is, the bottom of this towel, versus what I mentioned earlier. And also all the fingers came out on this one. So let's look at the setup in Chitubox. So this is the first one. Like I said, it was on the side. And it looks like, I mean, from my very limited understanding, it looks like there's enough supports going all the way around. And I decided to print this at an angle, and this would be the best way to support it with the least amount of supports, going throughout. And then the second approach, I printed them straight up. And still a lot of supports. And I was worried about, this is the first time I've ever done supports that connect from model to model instead of model to ground. And it actually didn't leave that bad of marks. Again, I'm using, my support settings are from 3D Printing Pro, his suggestions, and they just pop right off. Sometimes they fail, well, I wouldn't say they fail, but when I think the suction from the print bed, they kind of detach on their own. But for the most part, I've been having great success with these, and no chips coming off the model. Yeah, so this is the difference between the two. They're the exact same size. I didn't scale them or anything. It's just this one was flat on the ground versus tilted to the side. And here are the different settings. So this is the standard settings that come in Chitubox for Elgumars. And this is the one that I used for the first print with the banding problems. And this is the ones that I used for that second model. And this is these are settings that I got from Frame One, his YouTube channel. If you just Google or search in YouTube Elgumar's resin settings for Chitubox or something along those lines, I'm sure you'll get his video. I'll link it in the description below. But you look at the main difference here, I think, are this lifting speed and retract speed are way up to 100. The exposure time is only a second off, and then the bottom exposure time, 65 seconds, is not too different. Anyway, if anyone who has an Elgumars is watching this and understands why I'm getting these problems or has any critique of these settings, please let me know. I'm going to be doing a bunch more test prints, and I'll be sharing the results. I guess I really should have printed them out in the same orientation with the same support structures with different settings to really get a feel for the different settings. But so far, I don't think that they've made that dramatic of a difference. I think having the faster lifting and retract speed sped up the model slightly, but I wasn't too sure because having the model oriented straight up will mean a larger print time just because resin printing is solely based on the height of what you're printing. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. Leave a like. Hopefully this was helpful for you and not too confusing. And if you have any questions about anything that I went over, leave it down in the comments below. And until next time, thanks for watching, guys.